Hey everybody, this is Mr. Ainsworth. We're going to get into a little homework lesson here. Yes, your homework, and I'm going to help you out. And we are going to go through how to deal with these rational exponents, okay, of all different types. All right, so do yourself a favor. Remember, there's a video. Go as fast or slow as you want. If you want to even fast forward to the problems that you need, go ahead and do that. If you need to listen to it twice, hit the rewind button. I mean, it's a video, so use it as you wish. Let's get started. Okay, so first of all, let's see here. We want to write each expression in what's called exponential form. Exponential form. Okay, right now it's in radical form. Why? Well, they're using radicals, right? So it's called radical form. All right, using exponents is exponential form. So what you want to do is understand how to re-express this square root of 5. Now, we talked about that in our lessons. And so let's go to the lesson where we did the roots here. I talked about how the square root was equal to the 1/2 power. Okay. I talked about how a cube root is equal to the 1/3 power. Okay. 1/3 power. I wrote it a few times here. All right, and the fourth root is called the 1/4 power. Okay, you notice that the fourth root of 16 can be written as 16 to the 1/4. So it's the 1/4 power, and so on. And this is the 1/5 power. All right, so the fifth root is the 1/5 power. Sixth root is the 1/6 power. And you just got to understand that the sixth root of 64 is equal to 64 to the 1/6 power. Or likewise, the fifth root of 32 is 32 to the 1/5 power. Or 243, the fifth root of that is 243 to the 1/5 power. It's the same thing. All right, so when you deal with square roots, you can rewrite it as the 1/2 power. So let's get right into it. Let's see here. Here's your homework. Okay. Oh, that's the wrong one. Okay, let's get to the right one. So you want to re-express root 5. Now, root 5 is 5 to the 1/2 power. And then you got to raise it to the 3rd power. And guess what? Now you have a power to power. And when you have a power to a power, you multiply exponents. So power to a power is a main exponent rule. So I'm going to write it up here. All right, you got to multiply the exponents. We use this one a lot. Okay, well, what's 1/2 times 3? It's called 3/2, right? 1/2, all right, times 3 is equal to 3/2. So we get 5 to the 3/2 power. Okay, and by the way, I included all the answers in this, so if you just turn to like a couple pages from now, you can see the answers. They're right here. Okay, so the question is, how do you get to them? So it's not about the answer, it's about the process, so keep that in mind. So re-express your radical as 5 to the 1/2 power. Go power to the power rule, multiply the exponents, and you're all set. All right, number 2, the cube root of 3. Well, that's equal to the 3 to the 1/3 power, and then you got to raise it to the 5th. And once again, you have to use your basic common sense. 1/3 times 5 is 5/3. So this is 3 to the 5/3. It's that simple. And right here, this is the square root of 3. Well, the square root of 3 is 3 to the 1/2. And you got to raise it to the 5th. So it's 3 to the 5/2 power, because 1/2 times 5 is 5/2. All you do is multiply the numerators. Okay, that's all you do. Okay, it's that simple if you know basic math. All right, now the fifth root of 2, well, that's 2 to the 1/5 power, because it's the fifth root is the same thing as a 1/5 power. And then here you got to take, on number 5, you got to take 3 to the 1/5. All right, raise it to the 7th power, and then you take 1/5 times 7, you get 7/5. Okay, so you get 3 to the 7/5 power. Piece of cake. Again, you just have to know how to multiply fractions and whole numbers. So it's just simple. You just multiply the numerators. That's all you do. And this one here, you got square root of 7. That's 7 to the 1/2. Again, the 1/2 power is the square root. All right, this next one here, we got 5 to the 1/3 power squared. So it's 5 to the 2/3 power, because 1/3 times 2 is 2/3. On number 8, we got the cube root of 4. So 4 to the 1/3 power raised to the 4th power. Well, what do you get? Well, you get, well, 1/3 times 4, as I keep on saying here, is 4/3. So you get 4 to the 4/3. And you just keep on rocking. Okay, this is called the 4th root of 10. And the 4th root of 10 is called, it's 10 to the 1/4. And you raise it to the 5th. And you take 1/4 times 5. And it's just 5/4, because you just multiply the numerators. So you get 10 to the 5/4 power. So we're going from radical form to exponential form. All right? Right here, exponential form. Okay, what else? What else we got? Let me see, the 6th root of 2. So that is equal to 2 to the 1/6 power. All right, raised to the 7th power. And again, 1/6 times 7 is 7/6. So you get 2 to the 7/6 power. And that's all she wrote, my friends. That's how easy it is. And then you got to go backwards. Okay, let's switch from exponential to radical. Okay, so reverse the process. Okay, so let's do that. Let's reverse the process. Okay, so on this one here, we got 6 to the 1/2 power, and this is the square root of 6. All right, 5 to the 1/4 power is the 4th root of 5. And on this one here, we got, I'm going to rewrite this as 6 to the 1/2 raised to the 5th. That's equal to, actually, you know what, I'm going to reverse that. I'm going to write it as 6 to the 5th raised to the 1/2. And that's going to be equal to the square root of 6 to the 5th. I wonder if that's the way they like it. Okay, number 13. Let me check it. Look at that. Square root of 6 raised to the 5th. Notice that it's a little bit different here. Okay, so this right here is the same as what I just saw there. So the square root of 6 raised to the 5th, it's the same thing. Okay, that's actually the first one here. That's that. Okay, number 14 is just the square root of 10. And then this one here is, let me see, 2 to the 1/3 raised to the 5th. That's the cube root of 2 raised to the 5th power, just like number 13. Number 16 is just the cube root of 3. So you got to put a 3 in there. It's a cube root. All right, it's important that you put the number of the root number in the radical symbol, okay? And I'm talking about this right here, these guys. If you don't put the root symbol in there, then it's not indicating the correct root. If you don't see a number, it's a square root. But if you do see a number, it's a different root, okay? Like this is equal to 7 to the 1/2 power raised to the 5th. So that's the square root of 7 to the 5th power. This is equal to 5 to the 1/2 power raised to the 3rd. So it's the square root of 5 raised to the 3rd. And this is equal to 7 to the 1/3 power raised to the 5th. And that's the cube root of 7. So you got to put a 3 there. And then you got to take it to the power of 5. And then you take 5 to the 1/3 power and then square it. That's the cube root of 5. Give it a hug and square it. Okay? So once again, you know, it's just getting used to all this material here and how you re-express from exponential form, which is this right here, exponential form, all right, to this right here, which we call radical form. So just get used to it. All right, and the way you get used to it is by obviously doing a lot of practice. Okay, so speaking of that, here we go. I did this in class today. So you got to take everything and raise it to the negative 1/2 power, or you can shift first. Now I think shifting first is easier, as I displayed in class today. So shift first. So this is going to be equal to 1 divided by, all right, 49 times x to the 4th to the 1/2 power. Got to get that 1/2 in there. There we go. Okay, so what does that equal? So I got to take 1 divided by 49 to the 1/2 power times x to the 4th to the 1/2 power. So that is equal to 1 divided by 7, because the 49 to the 1/2 power is the square root of 49, which is 7. And when you take x to the 4th raised to the 1/2 power, this is a power to power. And as I said earlier when I wrote this down, power to a power, you multiply exponents. Okay, so you get 4 times 1/2. Well, that's 2, right? So this is times 7x squared. Okay, next one. You got to take 1,000 to the 2/3 power times n cubed to the 2/3 power. And to do that, let me see here, this is 1,000 to the 1/3 power quantity squared. And this right here, let me see, let's do a little side work here. 3 times 2/3 is just 2. So this is times n squared. The cube root of 1,000 is 10. So this is 10 squared times n squared. And that's 100n squared. So if you check 22, which is right here, 100n squared is good. All right, let's try another one. So let's take 27 to the 4/3 power times k to the 6th to the 4/3 power. So here you got to take the cube root of 27, which is 3, and then raise it to the 4th. Here, doing a little side work here, 6 times 4/3. You divide first to get 2, times 4 is 8. So this is times k to the 8th. 3 to the 4th. So 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 is 9 times 9, or 81. So this is 81 times k to the 8th. Okay, so notice how I do a lot of side work. Okay, you see me do that in class all the time. If you can't do it in your head, do it on paper. Okay, so this one here, you got 81 to the 1/4 power times m to the 8th to the 1/4 power. And this is just 3. The reason for that is because 3 to the 4th is 81, so you can check your powers, okay? And then 1/4 of 8 is 2, so you got times m squared here. Okay, 1/4 times 8 is 2. Well, 8/4. Let me step it out. 1 times 8 is 8, divided by 4 is 2. Okay, and they're all done like this, okay? You just take them both to the power, but when they're negative like this one, I would definitely shift it. So 1 divided by the quantity of 625 times x to the 4th raised to the 5/4 power. This is equal to 1 divided by something. So it's 625 raised to the 5/4, and then you got x to the 4th raised to the 5/4. So let's do a little side work, okay? You got to take the 4th root of 625. So the 625 to the 1/4 power. So you got to think, what number to the 4th power? What number to the 4th power gives you 625? That's what you got to be thinking. What is this number here? And if you don't know what it is, you got to get a clue here. It ends in a 5, right? This number, 3-digit number, ends in a 5. And if you multiply a bunch of 5s, the number ends in 5. So the question is, how many 5s would you have to multiply to end in a 5, and so that it equals 625? And the answer is 4 of them. So 5 to the 4th is equal to that. So this is 5. So you get 1 divided by 5 here, and then 4 times 5/4. 4 times 5/4. Notice the 4's cancel and you get 5. So this is 5 times x to the 5th power. And you just keep on rocking. The next one, 125 to the 1/3 power times x cubed to the 1/3 power. So here you get 5, and 3 times the 3rd is 1, so times x to the 1st power, which is just 5x. Okay, next one, you got to take 25 to the 3/2, and then you got to take n to the 4th, raise it to the 3/2. So you got to square root the 25 and then cube it. The square root of 25 is 5, and 5 cubed is 125. Let me write that down. 25, the square root of 25 cubed is 5 cubed, which is 125. And then 4 times 3 halves, if you want to write it down, divide first, multiply by 3, and you get 6. So times n to the 6th. Okay, next one, you got to take 36 to the 1/2 power times b to the 4th to the 1/2. So that's the square root of 36, right? And 4 times 1/2 is 2, so times b squared, so you get 6b squared. That's a b squared right there. So 6b squared. And then here you got to take 1,000 to the 1/3 power times n cubed to the 1/3 power. So that's going to be 10n. And here this is just n cubed. This is a simple one. And this one here you got 64 to the 4/3 power times p to the 6 to the 4/3 power. So you got to cube root the 64. And then you got to take it to the 4th power. And then 6 times 4/3, get power 2 power there. Divide first and multiply, and you get 8. So it's times p to the 8th. And the cube root of 64 is 4. Then you got to take it to the 4th power and multiply p to the 8th. And you get 256 times p to the 8th. And here you just get, well, let me see, 2 times 3 halves is 3. So you get n cubed. And then here you get 100 to the 1/2 power times k to the 4th to the 1/2 power. Gives you 10k squared. And last one, you got 64 to the 3/2 power times n squared to the 3/2 power. So this is the square root of 64 cubed. And a little side work here, 2 times 3/2 is 3, so times n cubed. And then the square root of 64 is 8, but then you got to cube it. Holy cow. And then multiply by n cubed, so 8 cubed, what's that? So 8 times 8 times 8, 64 times 8, that's 480 plus 32, looks like 512. So 512 times n cubed. Haha. Okay, that's it. Okay, now listen, if I went too fast, rewind the video. Do yourself a favor, rewind it, listen to it. And those are the basics. Well, the first set of basics. All right, this is Mr. Hazeth. I'll see you in my next lesson. Bye-bye.